Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Sunday, the 27th of November, 2022. A great full day of gameplay streaming and completely different from what was yesterday. Now, we started off today with an episode of the Level 1 podcast, and it was a really good episode because it was basically kind of almost like a celebratory day where we got to celebrate the fact that we did hit the monthly members goal for the month of November. We locked into doing the Christmas event. I talked about the specifics, of when that was going to happen, and I set up the two community tab threads by which you guys can nominate games. First of all, just in general, everyone can nominate games on the community tab. You'll see posted right there on DSPGaming. You can post up as many games as you like as nominations. However, I did post up the rules, so please abide by them, because if you're nominating games that aren't eligible, that would pretty much be a waste of your time. But then I also have one for members only. So if you happen to be one of the 475 plus members that we currently have right now here on the channel, you have priority access. Once you post up in your thread, the way it's going to work is as follows. For the members, the game that is most commonly nominated will become a game that we will play during the Christmas Marathon event. So if you're a member, head over there, nominate, try to campaign to get other people to back up your nomination, because the more the better. And yes, the game with the most nominations by right before Christmas there will be the game that we play. That's the members picked game. If you're not a member, if you're not a member, or if you are a member but you also want to get in on the public nominations, you could do that too. The way that one's going to work is people will nominate games for about 2-3 weeks, roughly. You figure probably this week and then maybe the first 2 weeks of December. And then whatever games are the most nominated, I'll probably narrow it down to like 5. Those will be in a poll, and you guys will be able to vote as well. Actually, I take that back. We'll probably do like 10, and then you guys can narrow it down from 10 to like 4 in a poll. So that way we can do those 4 that were public selected, and then one that's a members only game, you see? So that's how it's going to work. Please do so. What I'm going to do is institute some commands. So starting tomorrow, when you're in the stream chat, it'll pop up automatically and say, hey, everyone, nominate games here, or type !Christmas, to get this to pop up in the chat, and you can just go to that thread directly, okay? So cool. That was exciting. We also started discussing future events, trying to get an idea, because remember, there's going to be obviously a members goal in December, and I was like, geez, what would you guys like for the reward? And everyone seems to have a different answer. Some people really like the gameplay events. Some people like the react events. So it's kind of like a split idea. Some people are like, do viewers' choice again, where, viewers pick a game for you to do a playthrough of, which I'm okay with, except the last couple of times that we kind of had that as a members goal, it kind of fell flat and we didn't hit it. So I kind of stopped offering it. Didn't really make sense to have that as a members goal. People weren't going to care about it. So we'll see. We're going to talk about it over the rest of this week. And then when I come back from my break on Thursday for December 1st, not only will we have all the holiday-themed decorations, animations, and everything in play, but also we're going to have a new members goal, and we got to figure out exactly what the reward will be. It's something that you want. So we have 2 days left to talk about it on my streams. If you have an opinion, leave a comment on this video and let me know, what do you want for the members goal, okay? Someone had a really good idea on the podcast. They said, not for this month coming up, but the month after. So this would be January. Have a members goal, and if you hit it, instead of watching the Super Bowl, which you don't care about, because you're right, I don't care about sports, instead, do a Super Bowl ad marathon where I react to advertisements that were famously played during the Super Bowl. Now, for me, I'd want to go for old ones. The more current ads, sadly, the higher chance that those ads are going to be, have an issue with copyright. But if I go like 80s and 90s and maybe even early 2000s Super Bowl ads, that could be pretty funny and pretty fun. Go through these ads from that. I've maybe seen a lot of them too over the years, but it's cool to see these ads that are kind of like out of their own time frame. See, is it really timely for that time or whatever? But the cool thing is, if I do that, right, I'll dress up in one of my football jerseys. Maybe I'll do multiple jersey swaps during the day. I can eat food that people would eat when they're watching like a Super Bowl. Like I could have like microwave snacks and nachos and chips, all kinds of shit like that. Maybe order a pizza during the day and have that live with all of you. Maybe even get some silly stuff like a beer helmet or something like that, with those beer hats. We'll see. But anyway, it was just an idea someone threw out there, and all day I've kind of been talking about it, and everyone says like, yeah, it's a pretty good idea actually, something you've never done before. So maybe we'll do that as our goal for January. If we hit it, then we set various levels of reward for that event or something, okay? But we need to figure out January's event before we get to February's, because the Super Bowl's in February, okay? All right, gameplay today. First stream, Pokemon Scarlet. Once again, the game runs like shit. No one's going to deny this, that the frame rate is terrible, the lighting, the pop-in, it's really bad. But the game is genuinely fun. Like, I'm having a great time with it. The playthrough is chill and interactive. Everyone's having a good time when I play the game. We had, I think, one Pokemon got named today. Remember, if you tip $25 or more during the playthrough, you can actually name a Pokemon. And one person, I think it was CM Fool, named a fighting type Pokemon, the Quiet Man, which is pretty cool. So it was great. We went to westward from the school. We explored the open world. We actually arrived at the first major town to the west. Investigated it. Had a gym battle against the bug type Pokemon trainer. Got our first gym badge. So now we can train Pokemon that are up to level 25. Which is neat because we already had one that was level 20. It was so hard to catch and wouldn't have obeyed us if we tried to use it. Now we can use it. So that was awesome. And then we kept going. And if I remember correctly, we went further out west. And originally I was going to try to climb a mountaintop because that's where one of the, I guess, Titan Pokemon challenges was supposed to be. But then we got sidetracked. We fell off the side of the mountain and ended up going underground into a cave and then ended up going to the desert, which apparently is too far because the enemies of the desert were level 22 to 26. We were only level 20, 21. I was able to catch a few, but some were just way too high level. So we ended up skedaddling out of the desert, ended up going to a town that was on the border of the desert. And they're like, oh, you can't do the gym here because the gym leader left. He went to a freaking town on the other side of the desert. So now you have to go across the desert to do it. I was like, what? So instead of doing that, we headed out and started investigating again. And I ended up running into one of the Team Star camps. And basically, we got the plot that you need to infiltrate the camps to take them over by doing several fights and then fighting a boss. That's what we're going to do next. And then we ran out of time. So I'm excited because we actually are at our interesting point where we can do a bunch of stuff in this one region. And then when we're done, we know where we're going next. We're going across the desert to continue on with the gym stuff. So it was a great stream. We got a lot of new Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon evolved today for the first time. So it was fun and a great interactive time. So far, the Pokemon playthrough, I got nothing to say but thumbs up. Even though the game runs crappy, everything else about the playthrough has been great. It really is about us chilling and having a good time rather than being so, bothered by the bad frame rate or whatever, right? Then on the late stream tonight, it was more Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. I was using the FTAC or FTAC battle rifle, which we had started using last time. Got a bunch more attachments for it. Started alternating between the semi-automatic and the full automatic modes, because the semi-automatic seems really good for mid to long range, but when they're up closer, you want that full auto, and it seems pretty effective. I like the gun. I feel like I don't have exactly the best loadout for it yet, but I'm working on it. In addition, we did unlock another assault rifle while I was using it. Not assault rifle, excuse me, another SMG while I was using it. So now we have options, and I'm thinking when we play again Tuesday night, likely I'll start with the FTAC, but if we get bored, we could switch over to an SMG for the very first time and see how the SMGs stack up in the game. But it was pretty good. I actually got a chopper gunner. Although admittedly, yet again, the game is really showing how poorly designed it is. I hate to say it. So, a couple situations. So, a guy is running straight for me, okay, in free-for-all. His gun is completely pointed down, has not drawn yet. I draw, I fire 3 shots into him. Boom, boom, boom. This is with the FTAC. It shows hit indicator. Boom, boom, boom. I instantly die. Never shows on his screen him ever raise his gun or fire the weapon. Kill cam. Oh, he raised and fired on me before I ever shot at him. How can you tell me that's valid competitive gameplay? You've got to be a fucking idiot. I can't believe Infinity Ward thinks this game is passable online. It's not. The netcode, you'll get one match where everything goes fluidly and another match where it's insanely bad like that, yet it still says it's a good connection each time. That arguably probably said 50 millisecond match. They're out of their fucking minds, okay? Another example. So I'm in a room. I know a guy is coming up the staircase. I'm just literally staring at the door waiting. You see his body appear and you see a shotgun just starting to move up and just start to turn the corner. So he's not facing me yet. I'm aiming at fire, fire, fire. 1 hit indicator, 2 hit indicator, dead. What? On his screen, he came up completely turned, aimed, and fired at me before I ever hit him once. Even though I was lined up at the door knowing he was coming up there, it fucking still gave him the benefit of the doubt and let us act like he aimed on me first and fired. The game is insanely bad online, just like every Call of Duty. I don't want to act like I'm really narrowing this one out or whatever. I'm not. Every Call of Duty for the last like 5 to 10 years, the connections just get worse. It's a joke, and they never, ever improve the netcode. It's always like this. Typically, I notice on weekends it's worse. Today was a Sunday night. Yes, it was definitely worse than, say, last week. Remember, last week there was a couple different kill streaks that I got. I was pleased to even get the chopper gunner tonight because I really felt like it was an uphill battle when you're just trying. You can't even get easy kills on enemies, right? It's pretty bad. But I had a good time, and the audience was pretty good. You know, thank you to anyone who attended. Good stuff all around. Okay, so tomorrow we continue on with God of War Ragnarok on the first stream. We're actually going to finish up the second optional desert in Alfheim. We actually just got all the sand gone from it, so now we can see everything. We can go around and do all the stuff in the area, and then we're going to go back to the story. Tomorrow night is Sonic Frontiers. We are in the final world of Sonic Frontiers, which sadly has turned into a sluggish grind for the medals, the keys, the gears, and being able to basically get the gems and finish the game. It really has become a very tedious collection quest at this point, which is a shame, because I feel like the game started off at a high note. World 2 was a little different, so it was fun. World 3, you kind of feel like it's more of the same. World 4 wasn't even done. World 4 was an unfinished mess, and then World 5 is just terrible. So I'm hoping we make good progress, and we'll get at least near the end of the game, because it is my goal to finish Sonic Frontiers by Friday to clear the way for Callisto Protocol's premiere. Okay? All right, that was the day. I'm excited for tomorrow. I hope that you'll join me tomorrow for the streams. Keep in mind, if you liked today's streams of Pokemon or Modern Warfare, we're literally doing exactly the same schedule this coming Tuesday as my final consecutive streaming day of the week. Okay? Guys, thank you. Have a good night. See you in the morning. Have a good one. Be safe. Peace out.